Parsons, I think, is going to have a run on Ian Jolicor going into the bus stop.
Oh my God, what a pass. He got it done. Hello and good evening, everybody. Welcome to round 5 of the North American Grand Prix GT2 Championship. Championship coming to you live from Yas Marina Circuit in Abu Dhabi. Before we go any further, let me welcome my broadcast partner tonight, Brad Maris. Brad, welcome to the show.
As always, good to be here, Al. Another stern test for these guys tonight, huh? Big track for these GT2 cars, very long track as well. And some offline grip problems also. I could suspect that could catch some guys out tonight. We'll talk a bit more about it as we head into the event.
Yeah, I know. Certainly, these guys have had plenty of practice up to this point to get adjusted to the track surface on and offline. So hopefully these guys are ready to go here. But we are currently in practice 2, waiting to move it over to qualifying. Taking a look at the practice times here. So far, David Poole laying the gauntlet down early here with a 2:08 flat. Suspect that is a qualifying setup, qualifying lap. Just wait for a couple guys to jump in here. They're really coming in hot and heavy now. But I'll tell you what, Brad, this track is certainly, you're right, it is a challenge, especially, while we talk about, let's take a look at the track map. But you can see that first sector is all that difficult. Sector 2, a couple of long straights, but sector 3 is really a handful.
It is, and so around this place, really these guys are going to want to try to get maximum mechanical grip. So got a few very long straights actually where some power cars can make some moves, but overall you're going to want maximum mechanical grip on this track. So Ferraris, Porsches, Gumperts, all should be in pretty good shape around this place.
Yeah, so it looks like a pretty well-rounded track in terms of balance, but we were just taking a look at Alex White, who DNF'd last week, looking to rebound here tonight as we are about to get underway here. We have moved over to qualifying. This is a night race here at Abu Dhabi, so the track is pretty well lit. Also, unique pit exit here, goes under the track and emerges kind of towards apex of turn 2, so pretty unique layout. But this track is pretty well lit here at night, so should be an entertaining night of racing here. As David Poole, as always seems to be the first one out on track in qualifying starts. I don't know how he does it. He's always quick to act.
Yeah, Johnny on the spot. I don't know if he coordinates that with when he comes into the server. Do that if you're slick and smart about it, which I am not, to get one of the first pit phase, but that is part of his deal.
So kind of a different look here at night. Adds a little bit more character to this track, but as we watch David Poole making his way out, what a race last week for these two. David Poole, one half of 05 Motorsports, and boy, did they put on a show last week. His teammate himself and his teammate John Luden battling Salem Montgomery Jr. there right up to the end, and truly was a nail biter there.
you know, it's a good race for those guys on track with good speed, but also put together a pretty good strategy, I think. Now, as you recall, was David Poole actually taking that second spot with teammate going ahead in front of him there. So David Poole lost out on a couple of extra points he could have had, but in any event, a very fine run and strategic moves made by them, which worked out well in the end also.
Yeah, it certainly did, and you know, the main thing for them is they took over the team championship lead, so that is big. As David Poole now, let's jump on board with him. This opening lap here, down the start, finish straight into turn 1. So you mentioned the grip here, and the ooh, David catching the inside wall there. So much for that on board. Let's jump on board with Alex White. I mentioned briefly the grip. The track's been adjusted basically to avoid any cut issues. Guys taking liberties, using too much of the track. The track grip was adjusted there, basically inside or outside of the white line of the track surface, the racing surface. So it'd be a little dicey for guys in a couple spots, but
well, assuming that they've got some practice, it should be okay. Here's the thing that worries me a little bit about it, and that is evasive maneuvers in the braking zone. So if you get caught out in the braking zone right behind a guy and you have to kind of flick out there to avoid hitting them, well, you're going to be hitting something, that's for sure, if you have to flick out there to take evasive action. That's the thing that I think would worry me the most. But boy, take a look at that track temperature too. It is low.
Yeah, taking a look at the track temp, you're right, 74 degree ambient track temp. It is quite low. It does cool down in the desert.
Yeah.
That's evident here tonight.
Yeah, probably a good thing the track is so long. They can have the opportunity to get a little extra heat into those soft slicks.
So we continue to follow Alex White here down this second straight here in Sector 2. Now about to enter Sector 3 here. This is when things get really technical from a driving perspective.
Yeah, they sure do, and not only tough and technical on the turns and entry and exit, but a couple of these braking zones also. I don't know who you're on board with. I'm on board with Alex White. He's entering one now. Yeah, very tricky little braking zone there. One difficult to get right and carry good speed.
Get to the final couple sets of corners here.
You can take advantage of that last curving. You can take advantage on the inside, but obviously you want to avoid the cuts.
So Alex, right to provisional pole with a 2:07.7. Parsons currently second with a 2:07.8. So Eiran has come to play here tonight. Montgomery Jr.
I sure have.
Montgomery Jr. currently third. And he's carried a bit of success ballast after finishing third, literally coasting over the finish line last week after running out of fuel. Getting pushed a little too hard from Luden. Burned up all his fuel, so quite the battle he had, but was leading there late last week and in the second stint. But had to give up a couple spots in order to make it on fuel. But here he is here, and he is up in Sector 1.
Yeah, and speaking of strategy there last week, Salem Montgomery Jr. employed some great strategy to jump out in the pits to, as you say, take that lead. So nice dice there late. Salem Montgomery Jr. coming up just a little short, but showing great pace.
So we continue to follow along with Salem. Set of corners there at the end of that back straight. Yeah, you mentioned this particular section coming up here. It is quite tricky getting the brake in right here. You can very easily go into this corner way too hot and run out wide like that Gumper just did. Don't know if that's Prato or Jaime Moore, but and Montgomery is up in sector 2, so he's got a good lap going here early on.
Yeah, the key to that braking zone, of course, you have to be turning while you're braking at the same time, trying to get the car wound down as you're turning the wheel. Very difficult to do.
Salem might get a bit of a tow here off that Gumper. He's really trying for it. Ooh, he doesn't improve. He lost a bunch of time in that final sector.
Yeah, sure did. Yeah, and I suppose that's where the Viper's not going to be quite as good as those cars in front of him.
So Prato up to second. Prato looking rather quick here in practice, so he's got his stuff together. Had a nice run from the back of the grid last week, although serving a little bit of ballast penalty for an incident he had with Chris Moses. But doesn't look to be hurting him too badly.
Yeah, speaking of that, of weight ballast, you know, 5 of the guys in the top 5 provisionally here all carry their weight ballast tonight, so that's interesting to see.
So no improvement for Andres. Let's look further back. Montgomery remains 4th. David Poole up to 5th. Ryan Schleif taking it off, but he is in 6th. Is Jonathan Cuppett in 7th. So the BMW is quite strong here tonight. Kurt Chandler, Salem Montgomery's teammate, running in 8th. So Kurt having a good night so far early on here in qualifying. Had a pretty decent race last week.
Yeah, it's had more than a couple decent races, really. Still only coming away so far this season with only 2 championship points, but he certainly could have had probably at least 30. Just not quite able to cap off some of these events where he has been running very well.
Just finished 16th last week, but if memory serves me correctly, he was doing pretty well early on in that race, but somehow faded. But let's see what Kurt does here to finish this lap. No improvement.
I think that he has really benefited teaming up here with Salem Montgomery Jr. I think those guys do collaborate quite a bit here on the setup and trying to work around the track, gain some track knowledge together.
Yeah, that is certainly key for a strong team, especially a team looking to make a run at that championship, working together throughout the week to prepare. So you could see the teams that certainly do that and how well they actually do as we follow Rodrigo Triana currently in 10th. It's the first race this season, Brad, where nobody is serving a no-qual penalty, so that was good to see last week at a track like Sonoma, where you expected... we expected something, but there's a couple bumps here and there, but nothing to warrant a no-qual.
Yeah, you would think that if there was any track that would elicit some of those no-qual penalties, that would be it. But we've had some rough starts here to start this GT2 season. It was nice to see the competition committee light duty last week.
So last week's winner, John Luden, in 11th in the 458. Matt Taylor currently in 12th, Alex White's teammate. So Matt about to start a lap here. Tough race last week for White and Taylor. Double DNF for both those guys.
Yeah, I think Matt...
Actually, no, Taylor finished lap down, but out of the points. But he did have an incident late there, I think, with Monroy.
Yeah. That has hurt them in the team championship, as you say. That 05 Motorsports squad clipping him here for the moment.
Take a look at the times real quick. Alex White continues to lead with Prato about a 10th off. Parsons remains 3rd, Montgomery 4th, and the top 5 has not changed so far. Marty Eiran currently in 13th on an outlap. John Houston taking it too deep, as does believe that's Johnny Lugnut, so John Houston in 15. Connor Swain in the Aston Martin. Currently running in 16th. It's right along with Swain here for a little bit.
Connor Swain only coming up with points there at Mexico. Collected 6 championship points, but he also has had some strong runs. He hasn't quite been able to get all the way to the end.
Just over a second off there in the first sector. It's a part of the track where this acid would really be strong. Very fast car. Struggle a bit, I would say, in Sector 3, which is coming up. This corner right here, you wouldn't think, but we've seen in the past some pretty good overtaking maneuvers through that particular set of corners, so see how that one plays out in the race. It's a pretty decent track to overtake on.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, we'll have to see how this one works out. I have thoughts on it, but I'll save them for our warm-up period, Al.
You got it. So continue to watch Connor here. He's about to close out this lap. We'll see where he ends up. Ooh. And
there's the grip.
Yep. So, further back, Dan Wilkerson. Back in 20th, languishing back in 20th. Oh, Mercedes takes it off. Looks like that was Kreshnik. Yeah, a little surprised to see Dan this far back. Still plenty of time here to put a lap together.
Yeah, 3 pace, 2 off the pace. I have to think that he would be a little faster than that, so maybe he just hasn't quite got a lap in yet.
Quite a bit of traffic out on track at the moment. Mike Monahan on an out lap, currently in 21st. Tiago Canola back in 22nd. A little surprising to see him that far back, but something tells me he's not too thrilled with the performance of this Z4 here at this track. Iggy Chiordia, 23rd in the Audi. Dustin Honeycutt, currently 24th. After missing last week, he's back. Thomas Schubeck in the Mustang, running back in 25th. His second race back here in GT2. Made his debut last week at Sonoma, where he finished 23rd, a lap down. Kind of a feeling out process for him in that Mustang. Talked about Kreshnik, he threw it off earlier, but he is back out there currently in 26th. And the Mercedes, really slinging the rear end of that car around.
And I'm not sure if Kreshnik has made every event this season or not. We've seen him in a few, but certainly has not been up to the type of pace we saw him achieve a few times there last season, Al.
No, I agree. I think he was there last week and ended up getting disconnected or something like that. So I think he tried. He made a run at it last week, but didn't make the race. So Kreshnik back in 27th. Gup Douglas filling in for Ian Jolicoeur, running in 28th. Just under 10 minutes to go here. Brian Story running 29th. Johnny Lugnuts back in 30th. Omar Gomez in 31st. Mascarelli running 32nd. And Wathen's in the pits. Monroy's back in 36th. Now, what's going on with Monroy? He hasn't set a time yet. Neither has Wathen for that fact. But Monroy, I would suspect he would be further up. But it looks like he might be suffering a little bit of some lag issues. He is a bit choppy here tonight.
Yeah, a bit choppy, and I wonder if he's had many opportunities to practice his chops on the track as well. So Monroy is a bit off the pace. I don't know if he's had much practice here the last couple weeks.
Also, during that rundown, it looks like Prato has overtaken Alex White for the top spot here. Late in this qualifying, he's 2:07.341. Bested White by at least about a 10th. See, White is on a flyer here, so let's jump on board with him. Feature at this track, the top of that building does actually change colors here. Should change throughout the race, I believe. You're not seeing things, Brad.
No, I did see it change there. I'm glad you said something, because otherwise I was very perplexed.
See what White can do here.
I didn't see that second split, but his motor's sprint. Oh! 2 wheels off on the other side of the line, Al.
Yeah, he lost it. I missed the split time as well, but let's jump on with Eiran Parsons now. He's on a flyer. Ooh, that should be interesting, Brad.
I tell you, Eiran Parsons right now, 0.8 of a second off through Sector 2. 0.8 off in Sector 2, yet only 3.5 tenths off the overall pole-setting pace of Andres Prit.
The final corner. No improvement. Picked up a bit of time there at the end, but unable to improve. Andres Prato now, our session leader. Let's see if he's able to improve on his provisional pole. A bit wide on exit there.
Yeah, 6.5 minutes left to go at least 2 minutes a lap here. These guys don't have many left.
Yeah, you're right. Not much time. See how Andre is here through Sector 2. Split coming up. You can hear him finessing the throttle through there. He ran a bit wide. He's down about 3.5. Oh, he backs out of it. White's on an
wants the
outlet.
opportunity.
Go ahead, sorry.
Wants the opportunity here to get, I think, 2 more timed laps. He's going to have to hurry if he wants to get them in.
So, Montgomery Jr. beginning a hot lap here. He's going to go for it. Not see how far back he is. He's about 4 tenths off provisional pole. He was really good through the first 2 sectors. Sector 3 is what has been what killed him the last few times we watched him.
Yeah, that Viper's really helping him out. These straightaways here in Sector 1 are extremely long. Kind of a bisected straightaway here. Got a little chicane and then another long blast.
Off 0.09 of a second in Sector 1. Pretty good first stint. First sector, I should say. Pretty tidy through Sector 2. Yeah, he's only down to 10.
Wow.
Yeah, this is what hurt him last time. Let's see what he can do here, if he can make up any ground through these final corners.
Doesn't need hardly anything to pick up a spot on Eiran Parsons in 3rd, Al.
looks like that final corner is what's really catching him off. Let's see what we can do here. Up to third. Not by much. Wow, he's
really close that time.
Really close to White, surpassing White for second, but Salem's still on it. See White here. He's about to close the lap out. He's behind Sector 2.
Yeah, everybody's going to be behind in Sector 2, given that Andres Prieto time now. Alex White has clawed to within a couple 3/10, so he could be on a better lap here out.
Yeah, you can tell these guys, no improvement. Ooh, really close. 0.02 of a second off. Provisional pole. Montgomery, wow, nearly half a second off there. So that looks like a throwaway lap for him. Take a look further back. Schleif in 5th. Poole 6th. So good lap for Ryan. Bumping David Poole behind. Poole's off. Jaime Moore looking good here. Currently in 7th. So Jaime Moore showing that form again. Had a great run last week, him and Cuppet. What a tremendous battle between those two.
Another guy who's benefited from a very strong teammate in Andres Prieto, and I know that they do share information, so another driver who has benefited from a strong team effort.
Canola up to 8th. Now let's see what he does here in Sector 2. Ooh, he's off 1.1 seconds. Back up front here. See what Montgomery can do. He was pretty far behind in the first sector. Well, remained pretty static. Prieto. To the line, no improvement. White. Ooh, White way off. Ooh, Jaime Morris jumped up to 4th, now back to 5th as Parsons improves. Let's see, wow, a lot of time shuffling here late, Brad. Let's see what Ryan Schleif can do.
Yeah, there has been, and they've really tightened up.
David Poole just ahead of Ryan on track. Let's watch David here through the second split. Ooh, 1.1 off.
Yeah, David.
Go ahead.
David Poole carrying the most weight of those in the top 7, so 30 kilograms for David Poole.
Ooh, Schleif 0.7 off. Schleif might be able to pick up a spot. Time is expired. See what Ryan can do here. Nope. Remains 6. Prieto's done. White's done. Montgomery's... Well, Montgomery's got a flyer. I don't know if he's going to get it in, though.
Yeah, it'll be close.
Might be a good lap. 2:02 on the exit. Nope. Jaime Moore. I don't think he's got a shot. Well, see if he can squeeze it in here. Nope. Oh, he does, but no improvement. Oh. Parsons gets pulled right at the last second. Wow. What a finish.
Wow.
Unbelievable. What a lap. I didn't even think he had it in him. Oh, my God.
Wow, so that was
Stunning.
second before...
at least a second. Maybe less than a second. I mean, literally, the second he crossed the line, it switched over. What a lap there at the end. I didn't really think about it. I didn't think he had enough time, and I was just following him around. Unbelievable. Wow, there you have it. Eiran Parsons gets pole with literally no time left on the clock right before the session changes and beats out Preto by a tenth. Wow, what a pole lap there. What a qualifying end.
Yeah, you had to think for sure Andres believed he had it sewn up and probably had started to relax quite a bit. So Eiran Parsons, he has done that once or twice in the past before, but in any event, those times did tighten up quite a bit right toward the end of that session. Now, there's only like 2 guys in the 08 range there with about 5 minutes to go in that session, but suddenly a bunch of other guys jumped in that 08 range as well. So the times have tightened up, and I tell you, that was something I was worried about around here. I think we have an opportunity to see some big gaps open up, but looking good so far.
Yeah, I mean, this is incredibly tight. Well, really, the top 10 pretty much are within a second of one another, but those top 4 actually, 207.2 to 207.4, separating the top 4 drivers in qualifying. Pretty amazing given the size of the track. But
yeah, well,
blown away by that lap there right at the end. I mean, that is, you can't time that any better, Brett.
Well, I think he might even be thinking he got a little lucky. Yeah, it could have gone either way for him. Certainly tried to get out there to be one of the last guys out there. There is a tiny bit more grip there toward the end of those sessions, so want to make use of it. But a very exciting session nonetheless, and congratulations, Eiran Parsons. I'm going to take a real quick 60-second break, Al.
Well, while you do that, Eiran Parsons, do you copy?
I do, Al.
Hey, what a perfect timing there. I don't know how you managed to squeeze that qualifying lap there at the end, but you really nailed it. Unbelievable lap.
Yeah, I was just in the right place at the right time. It was my second lap on that set of tires, that run, and I got a good run on John Ludden. I caught up to him in the first sector, and I drafted him on a very, very long back straight, and he was kind enough to move over for me. So that put me like 0.4 seconds up on my best lap, and I was able to hang on to it.
Were you worried there? Did you think you were gonna? Did you think you were actually gonna get it in?
I thought it was like 50-50 if I would get it in or not, because I saw the tire went to 0 halfway through my lap. So.
Well, unbelievable. Good luck tonight. How's the car feeling overall heading into the race?
Car feels really good. It's quite an agile car, so you can kind of chuck it around a lot, which is good on this track.
So what are you looking at? You thinking it's going to go laps, or it's going to end? You looking at time here?
Definitely time. I think 28 laps. So probably hitting around lap 13.
All right. Well, good luck, Eiran. Great job with that qualifying, and who knows? Maybe we'll talk to you at the end of the night. So good luck.
Thanks, Al.
So there you have it, Eiran Parsons. I think he was even a bit shocked by his qualifying lap, as we have moved over to the warm-up here. Warm-up session here is in the daylight, and then it will go tonight. So, but an unbelievable lap from Parsons. Take a look at the session here tonight. So we're looking at max distance of 30 laps, but you heard Eiran say it's probably going to go on time, and this is the first visit for GT2 here at this track. So we've run it once before in GT1, and so this is the first time the guys in GT2 are going to be here. So 30 laps, chance of rain is relatively non-existent, but guys have reported a couple sessions have been damp or wet, so it is possible. So nothing's out of the realm of possibility in this game. So, Brad,
if I can
sounds
break
like
in
you're back. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I was going to say, yet again, another track here, which we don't have a lot of data for on the GT2 class, so don't have any idea what kind of tire strategy these guys are going to be able to employ, if any, or fuel strategy for that matter either.
Well, Brad, I'm going to step away myself for a minute. I'll be right back. I need a refill.
Yeah, and I just took care of my refill, so yeah. As Al mentioned, it was a very exciting session. What to look for in this race, again, is going to be these offline grip problems, off-track grip problems, I should say. So the best way to make use of your speed around this place is to take advantage of the curving and to try to run as wide as you possibly can. And I think from watching that qualifying session, some of these guys have tried to figure out a way to make use of the outside of the lines to the best of their ability. Certainly don't want to be applying too much throttle out there, as it's very easy to get that one rear wheel spinning and find yourself pointing the opposite direction very quickly. But I think many of these drivers will be doing just that, and kind of on accident too. So again, the problem is really going to be those evasive action maneuvers in the braking zone, or perhaps avoiding accidents or problems in front, maybe getting on the throttle a little too quickly as opposed to your competitor in front, and so I think that's going to be the real problem. But for the guys that have gotten their practice in around here and have really defined the track limits, they're going to be in very good shape relative to their competition, and I think we are in for some pretty big gaps opening up throughout the field, and perhaps gaps changing very quickly. Maybe somebody has a big lead on their competition. I think the smallest of mistakes will really send them back and cost a lot of time here in the final results of this event. So we'll have to keep our eye on that. Don't know how much Al ran down the order here, but a couple names pop out to me. It looks like Thiago Canola did put in a pretty good time here for the 8th position on the grid, and that is pretty good effort really from where he was at earlier in the session. John Houston cracked the top 10 here, so he'll be starting in the 10th position, and a pretty good spot really for the T-Brock Dam Bam team, with teammate Eiran Parsons, of course, getting that pole as we know. Not so much the case for Here Comes the Boom times 2, Alex White and Matt Taylor. Matt Taylor languishing back a little bit there in 15th. And last week's winner, John Luden, should be mentioned as well, back in 16th. So that winner's weight ballast apparently affecting John Luden.
All right, Brad, I am back. Sorry, thank you for that. Yeah, Monroy, I looks like he got his stuff together there late, finishing qualifying 9th. And Kevin Miller with a pretty stout qualifying. Out qualifying Chris Moses, finishing qualifying in the 13th position. Moses back in 14th. A bit of a shocker there. Nice to see.
Yeah, and Kevin Miller. Yeah, absolutely. And Kevin Miller, another guy we're kind of used to seeing putting together some good results, but it hasn't quite happened this season, but it certainly has in prior seasons. So I'd like to see Kevin get off the snide and put together some good races.
Yeah, I know you mentioned Canola, but you know, I think that qualifying time, I don't think he could have gotten anything else out of that car. I think he's just, you know, I think he'd be happy with a top 10 here. To be honest with you, he wasn't too high on it, especially at this place.
Yeah, didn't seem very happy with the grip level of the car last week at Sonoma, was he? So he employed the Tiago strategy A, which is the double stint and late stop, and he put that to pretty good effect. Finished 10th in that event, but still did not seem overly pleased with the Z4.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of an unknown. We don't know, like, the tire situation here, what the wear's like, but I'll tell you what, that could be a strategy he could employ tonight, and it could work out for him. But we have moved over to the racetrack, temp 95 degree, 84 degree ambient. Let's run down the starting order here tonight from pole. Eiran Parsons starting first, Andres Prieto second, Alex White third, Montgomery Jr. is going to start fourth, and Jaime Moore with a nice qualifying fifth.
Yeah, also with a nice qualifying effort, Ryan Schleif will start 6th, David Poole's in 7th, Tiago Canola is in 8th, Juan Monroy jumped up to 9th, and John Houston in 10th.
Rodrigo Triana is going to start 11th, Jonathan Cup at 12th, Kevin Miller 13th, Chris Moses 14th, and Matt Taylor in 15th.
John Luden will take 16th, Dan Wilkerson didn't improve much to 17th, Mike Trussler takes 18th, Krishna Khalili in 19th, and Connor Swain 20th.
Kurt Chandler is going to start 21st, Marty Eiran 22nd, Raleigh 23rd, Iggy Giordia 24th, and Mike Monahan 25th.
Gregory Myers looks at the 26th starting spot. Destin Honeycutt is in 27th, Thomas Schubeck 28th, Gup Douglas 29th, and Brian Story 30th.
Lugnut's 31st, Omar Gomez 32nd, and Lou Mascarelli 33rd, and John Watton's going to be starting from the rear in 34th. So, what are your thoughts, Brad? How do you think?
Well, it was a great
shape up.
Yeah, it was a great start throughout the field last week. Really excellent start. Everybody got sorted in particularly fine order. I don't think that's going to be the case tonight, but I'm hopeful. Other than that, I think it's anybody's race given that qualifying session. I think it's going to be whoever makes the fewest mistakes is going to come away with this thing.
Taking a look down the track into turn one. Notorious turn one. Been known for some incidents there. Let's hope it's a clean start here tonight as we are about to get underway with round 5 from Yas Marina in Abu Dhabi. We're away. Great start from Parsons. And great start from Prieto as well. He's going to jump out into the early lead. And Alex White is going to fall back to third. Looks like we had a moment there. One of the Ferraris are off. It looks like it's Monroy.
Both Ferraris out.
Wow, Triana and Monroy both out. Schleif, hard on the brakes. Ooh, Matt Taylor, he's got, looks like that might be Luden on his inside. It is, ooh, Trussler with a bit of, ooh. Moses loses it. Not sure what happened to Moses there. Didn't catch that. So White putting the pressure on Parsons here. Jumping on board with White.
Looks like Chris Moses has parked it with a DNFL.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He just... It's not like he was off track. He just lost it. I don't know if something mechanical happened to him, but or his wheel or whatever, but that's unfortunate. He is out. Kurt Chandler running in 14th. He's got Marty Eiran behind him, running in 15th. It's a good start to this race for both those guys. Back up front, Andre's going to lead the first lap of this race. But Parsons really putting a lot of pressure on him. Ooh, Prieto takes it a bit wide. Parsons hanging on to the back of Andres. White has fallen back slightly, not too much. Montgomery Jr. back and forth. Jaime Moore and Ryan Schleif on the back of him in 6th. And then there's a little bit of a gap between Schleif and Poole for 7th and 8th. As Houston now putting some pressure on David Poole. Canola's dipped back to a little bit of a moment there for Houston. He's lost a bit of ground to Poole. Canola's dropped back a position to 9th. Cup at 10th. Kevin Miller running in that 11th spot with Matt Taylor behind him.
Oh, I tell you, if you happen to make a
Miller
mistake here,
loses it. Oh, with contact between Miller and Luden. Oh, Luden gets away. Wow, Miller got away. I think they helped each other out there. Oh, Miller taking it wide again. Sorry, Brad, go ahead.
no, that's okay. That's a good point to illustrate here. Really, if you are Kevin Miller and make a mistake here early, it's important. Whoa!
Yeah, Miller's head, he's off. Yeah. He must have some damage.
I was going to say, it's important to maintain composure here because your competitors in front are going to make mistakes too. So it's too early to be giving up here and getting down on yourself. Just time to put the head down and go back to work.
On board with Mike Trussler, caught up to the back of Marty Eiran here. Marty running at 14, Trussler in 15.
Now it looks like conditions actually possibly call for a little bit of the wet stuff.
Oh my goodness. Wouldn't that be something?
Oh, God.
I mentioned it. There is that slim possibility. So as this battle continues to rage on, let's take a look further back. Kevin Miller has rejoined back in 16th. Igor Giordia with a nice start. He's in 17th, just out of the points. Dan Wilkerson 19th. Greg Myers got a train of cars. Greg, Connor Swain, Monahan, Halili, and Gup Douglas on board with Guppa. Monahan had a look on the inside of Connor Swain, but not close enough. Gup trying to get a run on Halili. It's going to be tough for him with that Mercedes. That thing's a monster down the straight. Oh, with Greshling. Ooh, went a little too hot. Hangs on to it. So behind him we got Thomas Schubeck at 24th with Triana, who had it off with his teammate the opening lap. So Schubeck hanging on. Ooh, it looks like that's Brian Story took it wide in that McLaren.
Yeah, Schubeck actually had cracked the top 20 there momentarily, made a small mistake, and so gave up a few positions from there. Oh wow, it is a pass. It is a pass now being made by Eiran Parsons on Andres Prieto. At the end of the first long straight, Eiran Parsons will secure that spot.
Yeah, we just caught the tail end of that. So Parsons moves up to the lead of this race. We got White, and White now putting some pressure on Prieto. Prieto may drop 2 spots in this lap. White having a look. Gonna go the long way around.
Yeah, the Alex White BMW should have a bit of pace down these long straights. Gumpert much better through the last sector, I should think.
Wow, Parsons really starting to put a bit of distance between himself and Prieto. White, let's see if he has a look on the inside. He does not.
Yeah, and once again, Al, it is Salem Montgomery Jr. still lurking back there in fourth, just lurking and waiting.
Yeah, he is right there. He hasn't lost touch yet to those guys out front. And Jaime Moore, it's safe to say, he is lurking and waiting as well, as he is sitting nicely in fifth. Bit of a lurch right there, but still having a nice start here early on. Ryan,
yeah, and I know you have a battle that...
Go ahead.
Sorry, Al. Yeah, it was the position right behind Ryan Schleif. I'm watching a hell of a battle here over 7th. Poole and Houston going at it. Houston looks to have pretty good pace here, Al.
Hey, talked about David Poole carrying a bit of weight for this one. David taking it wide. See if Houston can capitalize. He cannot.
David did a great job there, actually, not killing himself. There's so little grip on the outside there. That was very nicely done.
Continue to watch this battle for 7th. Houston's going to get a run on David Poole. It's a tough to make this pass around the outside, but oh, Houston gets it done. Good job there by David Poole. He could have made that very ugly, but that was good by both guys. Nice pass for Houston by Houston for 7th.
Well, it was Jonathan Cuppett just running in 9th behind those guys. He made a mistake and allowed Tiago Canola through, and now Matt Taylor as well. So Matt Taylor moving up through the field.
Yep, there's Matt. Right ahead of Jonathan Cuppett. 2 BMWs. So far, early on in this race, quite a bit of battles going on throughout the field. Trussell's right there with, looks like Curtis. Looks like this gap, Luden's gotten, I think that's Luden. Yeah, Luden's up to 12th, so this battle's spread out slightly. Kurt hanging on to that 13th position. Trussell up to 14th, wrestling that Mercedes around here.
Yeah, the thick of the battles are still back there by Gregory Myers in 19th, but other than that, battle's still relatively close. Again, I think those gaps, we will continue to see those open up just a little bit.
Nice fight here between Iggy and Dan Wilkerson for the 17th spot. Looks like Dan made his way past Iggy.
Yeah, and a nice run early here by Iggy. He's only a couple positions off the points, and this would be one of the races. He's the furthest up he's run here in his rookie season.
So it looks like Rodrigo Triana has made his way around Thomas Schubeck, so Schubeck back at 25th. Up running around in 23rd. Let's look further up. So yeah, Greg with a bit of a moment. See if Connor can capitalize. Looks like Iggy might have a run on Wilkerson. So jump on board with Iggy. So Iggy's going to have a look on the inside. And looks like Iggy is going to get it done. Maybe. Ooh. No. Wilkerson takes the position back, but Iggy should have another run on here through this the second straight. No, Wilkerson hangs on to that spot, but that battle's allowed Greg Myers, Connor Swain to close up on these guys.
Yeah, I think Iggy was playing it pretty cautiously there. He's giving a lot of ground, making sure he doesn't take out a fellow competitor.
Yeah, I think that first attempt, he just outbroke himself a little bit. Lost all that momentum. Still, nice attempt there from Iggy. So, raging battle here for the 17th position. Oh, looks like we lost somebody. Take a look further up now. Eiran Parsons, the lead of this race. Parsons up 1.3 seconds over Prato in second. Alex White now coming under pressure from Montgomery Jr., who's running in fourth. Meanwhile, Jaime Moore and Ryan Schleif, and now John Houston has joined this fight for the 5th spot.
Yeah, John Houston looking very racy here. He may be able to get this done on speed and move all the way up into 5th place. So John Houston starting from the 10th position, quickly moving up. Yeah, that fight between over 3rd place Salem Montgomery Jr. and Alex White, I think Salem is smelling a little bit of blood in the water here by Alex White, who's not quite able to hold the same pace. So spurred on a bit here.
And the gap is about 0.6 of a second. Ooh, Jaime Moore with a little late braking, but recovers. But meanwhile, Schleif is all over. Ooh, Schleif having a look on muscle, trying to muscle his way by Jaime Moore, and he does. Wow, John Houston now is going to get by Moore as well.
Boy, that ambient temperature is... Sorry to break in now. That ambient temperature really is starting to drop now, and I'm wondering if we might actually not see some of those raindrops start to fall.
So now it's Schleif and Houston. Moore has fallen back to 7th, and David Poole in 8th. I think Moore might have been a little frazzled there. That's a tough way to lose a spot.
You know, and I was going to mention that. I've seen that in the past, and I think a key for him here is really going to see if he can maintain his composure. We've seen him lose it before after those tough battles.
Yep. No, you're certainly right. David Poole right there looking to capitalize as well. So far, it's been tight racing all the way, for the most part, all the way around here.
Yeah, sure has.
I expected this to kind of spread out a little bit, but so far it hasn't been the case. So let's take a look at that battle between White and Montgomery Jr. So White carrying a little bit of weight, but you know, you gotta wonder if this, you know, that's a Dunlop shod BMW. If that thing is, the tires are starting to struggle on that thing.
Yeah, maybe. The temperature is continuing to fall, which should help it out a little bit in terms of wear. Maybe not much, but yeah, you could be absolutely right. Now, David Poole is actually taking a look on Jaime Moore now, going into the... Coming off the first straight, couldn't get it done, but anyway, I was watching that battle. Yeah, it's tough to say, though. You know, we shouldn't be, but I don't know, 4 or 5 laps away from when these guys will be considering diving in for the pits here.
So we talked to Parsons. He was looking to pit around lap 13, 14, that area. But Tiago Canola, he has joined this battle between Poole and Jaime Moore as well. So he is right in the thick of it. Nearly 20 minutes into this race. As we look at the lap counter, working lap, looks like lap 8. Oh! As Jaime Moore has had looks like he's had some contact with David Poole. Looks like, oh, as Matt Taylor takes it wide. But it looks like Poole might have spun wasn't really looking at it, but I saw David Poole. It looks like he might have spun Jaime Moore, and well, Tiago Canola's made his way by. So man, people taking liberties tonight on Jaime Moore.
Yeah, they sure are. Now, interesting, Matt Taylor involved in that a little bit. Now, he has slipped back, so it's Jonathan Cuppett. I've been kind of keeping an eyeball on him. Moving back into the top 10 here, in 10th position for Jonathan Cuppett. And goes back to my point about mistakes. And if you make a little one yourself, wait, because there's probably one coming from the guy in front.
Yeah, we talked about Cuppett briefly earlier on. He had a great run last week with Jaime Moore and put together a nice showing again here tonight. Cuppett continues to impress. Luden now up to 11th. Couple more guys have dropped. So Taylor, after that off, is falling back to 12th. Let's take a look further back. Chandler continues to run at 13th. And Tressler, that gap has been pretty static between those two. Not much has changed. That gap's about the same. Oh, Kevin Miller continues to struggle in that McLaren. Another spin for him. So Wilkerson and Iggy continue to duke it out. Marty Eiran takes it wide. It's like Wilkerson's going to try and capitalize. Unable to. So I'm very impressed with Iggy's run here tonight. Both him and Wilkerson having a good battle.
Yeah, certainly, as mentioned, Iggy's best by far, and he has a chance for some of his first championship points here tonight, it looks like, Al.
Yeah. Be nice to see him finishing the points. Be a big boost for him. Greg Myers.
Rodrigo Triana.
Out.
Sorry, now has shown up as a DNF, yeah.
Mike Monahan in 19th. Kevin Miller running in 20th. Oh, Gup Douglas making the overtake on Thomas Schubeck. Schubeck looking to counter. On board with Schubes. Wow, Schubes anxious to make his way around Douglas. So Kevin Miller, after his great qualifying performance, is now back in 20th. Let's see what Schubeck can do here if he can get it run on Gup. Not going to be able to get it done. Oh, he just may get it done here. It's really tucked up behind Guppa. Wow.
Yeah, you'd think that Mustang would have a little longer legs or down some of these long straights, but so far just hasn't been the case.
Yeah, it's been lacking legs for quite some time.
Well, over the Porsche, it should be said. You'd think that it'd have a little extra something.
Nope, it's got nothing. Ooh, Schubes with a bit of a moment. So further back, Lou running in 23rd. Ryan Story in 24th. Omar Gomez 25th. Connor Swain, wow, he's fallen back to 26, so he must have had an incident. Dustin Honeycutt running in 27th, and Triana is out, as is Watton. So back up front here, Parsons continues to lead by nearly 2 seconds now over Andres Preto.
Yeah, that gap has remained pretty steady. In fact, Andres Preto, a couple laps back there, clawed to within a half second or so, but since has fallen back just a little bit. But overall, pace pretty close. Now, John Houston was actually getting a run on Ryan Schleif at least closing that gap before he made a bit of a mistake. So it's Tiago Canola now through to that 6th position.
Yeah, so Canola, things working out for him. Let's take a look at that gap between Canola and the front runners. Well, 22 seconds. You gotta expect Canola's gonna run this as long as he can and then make a late dive into the pits.
Yeah, we'll have to see. I'm not sure. The pit lane not terribly short around this place either, again, as it was last week. Also a very long pit lane, so always something to keep an eye on, Tiago, looking for those double stints.
So that gap between White and Montgomery is increased slightly.
Yeah, Alex White has found the rhythm a little bit. Maybe more to say, Salem Montgomery Jr. has fallen off a little bit. Salem's lap times beginning to grow with each lap.
So Houston in 7th. Things have kind of spread out slightly near the front. Jaime Moore has recovered to 8th. Cuppett has made his way past David Poole for 9th. And Poole's teammate, John Ludden, 11th, and Matt Taylor right there in 12th.
Yeah, I neglected to mention that pass, Jonathan Cuppett on David Poole. That was a pretty heated battle they had, very clean battle there over the course of half a lap or so. Jonathan Cuppett able to get the advantage for now.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that has impressed me a lot about Cuppett is, how clean he does race. So, it's one of these guys that you can run with and not be overly concerned that he's gonna do something that's gonna potentially jeopardize your race.
Well, let's not forget, Jonathan Cuppett hasn't been racing here all that long. What has it been, 2, 3, maybe 4 seasons? But he's never really been afraid to get in there and mix it up. So always a guy you have to be careful in terms of him finishing ahead of you on track.
Yeah, so another nice showing for Cuppett. So, yep, Poole back there in 10th. His teammate right behind him, and Taylor there as well. So further back is... So Chandler... Ooh, looks like Trussler might have... something might have happened to Trussler. Marty's now up to 14th. Iggy is now in the points in 15th. Greg Myers, last points playing position in 16th. Evan Miller's 17th, and this battle between Gup Douglas and Thomas Schubeck continues to go on here, with Mike Monahan lurking there in the back.
Boy, Mike Monahan, there's a guy who just hasn't gotten it together this season. Now, teammate Smoza's not faring too much better, a little bit, but Mike Monahan simply off the pace the majority of this season so far.
Yeah, he certainly has been, but it looks like Trussler's fallen way back, so I'm not sure what happened to him. Let's go back up towards the front here. So Houston all alone in 7th. Canola putting a nice run together. We mentioned him. He's not too far off of Ryan Schleif. He's starting to close the gap a little bit on Ryan, who's in 5th.
Yeah, those lap times, yeah, you're absolutely right. Looking at the lap times, Tiago Canola is putting in some better laps at the moment. So Ryan Schleif already in the 2-minute 10 range, while it's Aaron Parsons now in the 09 range. Should be noted as well, Andres Prieto has begun to pick up a little bit of ground back on first place Aaron Parsons.
Just to touch on Ryan real quick, he was hanging with those guys, qualified well, but he was hanging with Montgomery Jr. there early on and kind of faded a bit. So we're watching the battle at the front here between Parsons and Prieto. You mentioned that gap is now about under a second, I would say. So this gap has been shifting back and forth. Laps in favor of Parsons, other in favor of Prieto. So.
Yeah, and as you watch that battle, Thomas Schubeck has jumped into the pits here, so I think we're well and truly within a pit window, and we should begin to see those pit stops begin in earnest here any time.
Oh yeah, so I would suspect Parsons is going to dive in. He does. He called it Well, I failed to mention, Brad, while you were away, we talked to Parsons. He filled us in on his pit strategy. So Parsons going to take over the lead. I'm sorry, Preto, White, these guys are going to stay out. And then quite a bit of a wait for the 5th place. Oh. Looks like that's Ryan Schleif coming into the pit lane as well. Canola's going to stay out. We knew he would. So it looks like Canola's up to 4th. That BMW ahead of him is a lap down.
Now, this is the case actually where Thiago Canola is running pretty well, and it doesn't look like he's going to gain much benefit really by double stinting. He's taking really more of a chance. If he does elect to stay out on track a long time, he's taking more of a gamble here than if he were to dive in and go ahead and take those tires along with everybody else.
Yeah, trying to make his way past the lap car here. It's not going so well, but finally gets by.
That was a mess.
So Jaime Moore has stayed out. Let's see what Preto decides to do here. So looking at the counter here, yeah, just about 30 minutes in. So it's about the halfway point. So this race is looking to go about 26. Ooh, Preto with a moment. He takes it wide and off into the tire wall. White gets by. Preto gets on ahead of Montgomery Jr., but that's very, very costly.
Yeah, no doubt he'll be suffering some aerodynamic damage as well. That's not going to hurt his help his top speed.
Let's see, is it going to initiate a pit? Yep, he's into the pits.
Yeah, so fortunate. He had not made a stop yet. So
Montgomery in as well.
To see that. Could have been worse there, eh?
Yeah, it certainly could have. I mean, if it was going to happen, it happened at the right time near the end of that lap. But still, gave up quite a bit of time to White.
I was going to say, he was pushing really hard there to try to make that ground up. Now, Andres Preto, I saw him come in. He's askew here in the pit lane.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. He got hit by...
I think he might have slid past his stall, Al.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, oh boy's right, especially if he doesn't have enough fuel to get around again. This is a long track.
Ooh, the wheels could be coming off here for Preto. He's away. That's not, that doesn't bode well for him.
No, that's a long pit lane too, so I think he's gonna give up at least 1 or 2 spots now. He may be able to claw his way back up to within those top 4, but he's not gonna be challenging for the win here tonight, I don't think.
So Parsons has rejoined in 7th. Chiordia up to 8th. Granted, there's some stops that have yet to be that still needs to be made. Marty Eiran behind him, he's in 9th. So Montgomery Jr., he's rejoined in 10th. So we'll have to keep an eye on White, see how he does on his pit.
Yeah, a lot of it's going to come down here to Alex White, actually. If he can rip off a pretty good stop, he's not going to be so far off of Aaron Parsons, he won't have a chance here.
Oh, White takes it wide, and he is coming in.
We're going back quickly to that Andres Preto problem. Sorry, Al. I think that he was a little flustered there by throwing it off track and picking up some of that damage. I think he did just slide past his stall a little bit.
Yeah, so White gets in cleanly, as does Omar Gomez. So, let's see what Now Preto is back into the pit lane. Wow, devastating. What a crushing night. What a devastating turn of events here for Preto.
Yeah, his relative position to guys on track, he will have a chance to finish pretty well here tonight, but certainly will not be up there challenging, as mentioned, for the win.
All right, so he is in the pit lane on the jack. So, yeah, there was a I didn't know if he got knocked through the pit or what, because there was a Viper right behind him. So I didn't know if that had any impact. Just because of the way his car was positioned on the in the pit lane, it was strange. We'll have to take a look at that later.
Yeah, if you expect a challenge for these wins, and certainly if you expect a challenge for a driver championship, you have to be fast, and you also have to get some good luck and avoid the bad luck at the same time. So those types of things are just going to happen. You got to deal with them as best you can, and Andres knows that.
So our new leader, Tiago Canola, he's got a 30-second lead over Eiran Parsons, who has pitted.
Yeah, those pit stop times running about 1 minute off of the race pace, so 60 seconds, a little over. He won't be having to take tires, so he'll save 20 seconds there. Long pit lane, though. I think that he didn't have any shot, realistically, to get up there in the top 4, challenge for a podium. For him, I think it was going to be a better idea just to go ahead and pit on rotation, but he doesn't like to do that.
No. Certainly, and you know what's funny is, I mean, he has made it work. You know, we've seen him win using this strategy, and it's funny that other guys haven't. I know some guys have tried to ill effect, but it's just funny that nobody else has tried it and has made it work the way he has. But meanwhile, Matt Taylor still out there, has yet to pit in second. Parsons, you see him in third. Looks like he's behind Luke.
Now, you might try to cut off my thoughts on Tiago Canola's strategy, but I'm not going to let it happen. Here's the thing that makes it. Here's the thing that makes it so good. Tiago Canola is exceptionally consistent and knows how to really protect those tires, and that's how he could do it. Now the car helps a little bit too, but boy, we saw Tiago Canola with those couple championships, just incredibly consistent, very strong. That's why he's able to make that strategy work.
So you're saying we're not good enough? Is that what you're saying, Brad?
I'm saying I'm not good enough. I have to try to get it done on speed, which is rarely happens. But Tiago, he's got the skills.
So, I mentioned Parsons. He's in third. Let's see that gap between what happened to White. Ooh, Montgomery has jumped White in the pits. We failed to follow up on that, and there you have it. So Montgomery, hopeful. Well, we talked to him post race, and he said he short filled his tank. That's why he was nursing it to the finish last week. Made it out of fuel, coasted across the line. Let's hope he doesn't have that same issue here tonight. Did his math, his calculations right.
Yeah, looking at that stop, it does look to be in range with the other drivers, but suddenly his fourth place has turned into a second place here if he can manage to hold off Alex White and some of the competition behind. So nice move up for Salem Montgomery Jr.
And I mean, it's not even close. It's about 4 seconds between him and White. So yeah, that's a dynamite stop. Meanwhile, Iggy's still out there running in 6th. He still has to pit, but he has not gotten the memo. He's going to keep it out as long as he can. His teammate Omar has pitted. We saw him in the pit lane.
Yeah, those lap times dropped off about a second toward the end of that first stint, and really I guess for a track this long, that's not that bad. If you only have to give up 12 seconds per run, you know, that makes it a little closer on those double stints, but yeah, interesting.
So the Schleif and Ryan Schleif and John Hewson post pit stop. You see the gap there on screen with about a second apart. These guys having a nice run here. Let's take a look further back. Prato now has rejoined in 9th, right in front of David Poole and in front of his teammate Jaime Moore, who looks like got jumped by Poole in the pit stop. So it's a Ferrari sandwich at the moment. You see Cuppet there in 12th. John Luton looks like he lost out there in the pit stops, in the pit rotation, rejoins in 13th. He was tucked right behind his teammate there in that stop. Mike Trusso now, oh, well, looks like Mike might have pitted early. He's rejoined and he is now running 14th. So I was wondering what happened to Mike earlier. So it looks like he had an early stop and is, well, just about where he was prior to that stop. And he's jumped Kurt Chandler. Him and Kurt were on 13th and 14th for a while there. Now Kurt's behind Mike in 15th. Greg Myers, last points paying position, running 16th. And Marty Eiran all over the back of him. On board with Marty. As we follow along with Marty here, Brad, I'd be remiss to say if it hasn't been a bit of a disappointing season for Marty. I don't know if it's the car or what, but him and his teammate Ian are typically right there every race.
Yeah, good point. You know, and Marty did have some question marks really jumping in this Porsche, but it's interesting. We see these guys, Marty Eiran and Joe LaCourse, struggle. Likewise, jumping in a Porsche, Chris Moses and Mike Monahan. Now, we talked about Mike Monahan a little earlier, and those guys struggling as well to get a handle on the Porsche here. So,
what is it about that? What is it about that car that makes it hard for some guys? Is it just?
Well, it's a setup challenge, that's for sure, and it does take a guy who likes a particular style of driving. So if you're not in tune with that particular style of driving, then it's going to be difficult for you. So the Porsche, very direct turn-in type car, a little unforgiving on that turn-in. You have to be very precise and ready for those quick adjustments on the wheel. So the braking can be a little tricky as well. It's a pretty tail-happy car, but it's a setup challenge more than anything, and if you don't get it right, it can be a handful.
Well, that's why we pay you the big bucks, Brad, to give us that expert analysis. We appreciate it.
Well, I think it's a nice challenge. I really enjoy the challenge of being able to set up that car correctly. Now, I don't get a lot of time in the GT2 class, but I do get around them enough to get enjoyment out of all of the cars.
See if Marty has a run here. Taking a look on the inside of Greg. Marty hard on the brakes. Ooh, he gets it done. Greg doesn't put up too much of a fight there, so nice pass from Marty. Move him up to 15th. So we saw Iggy there in the pit lane. Connor 18th, Monahan 19th, Schuback back in 20th. We got Miller and Gup Douglas, 21st and 22nd. And Iggy has rejoined, oh man, all the way back in 23rd. So a tough stop for him. Well, that's the other side of the coin, Brad, right? You stay out too long in a car that's not as suited for going late, and you lose all that track time.
Yeah, and we have to assume that Iggy actually probably did slap on a set of tires. Looking at his stop time, actually it was very slow, so he may have had some problems in the pits as well, but certainly took some tires to boot, and that did not help him out. That we know Thiago Canola, likely Matt Taylor as well, yet to stop, will not be taking new tread, but we'll see how well it works out for them.
So Iggy about to go a lap down to Tiago. Lou Mascarelli running 24th, and Story back in 25th. Omar Gomez running 26th. So Omar putting up a valiant effort here tonight. Dustin Honeycutt 27th, and Wathen in the pits.
You know, I've been keeping my eye on the newcomer crop here to NAGP, and here in the next couple of races,
Tiago,
I'm
into the pits.
compiling those points.
Go ahead.
Sorry. No, I'm gonna start compiling those points and keep tabs on our new drivers.
Ooh, we have a McLaren damaged and off pace.
Kevin Miller, Al.
We saw him. He's been struggling most of the night. So Canola is going to lose out to Matt Taylor. Taylor's going to take over the race lead. So we know at this point what Matt Taylor's strategy is going to be. Working lap 20. And we're looking to see this race go to about 26, 27 laps. So taking a look at the time. So yeah, we got about 14 minutes left, 14, 15 minutes left to go here, Brett. And you see Parsons right there behind Taylor. So Parsons is not going to have it easy. He's probably going to have to make this pass on track unless Taylor just gives it up, knowing he can't, knowing he's got to come in regardless, and he's going to lose out.
Yeah, it's hard seeing Matt Taylor make tough passes here when not necessarily in a direct fight overall here for the event. So we'll have to see if that's the case now. But Thiago Canola has rejoined in 5th, some 7 seconds ahead of Ryan Schleif. So he'll have 7 seconds to work with on those double stinted tires. So,
yeah, good stop. I mean, he pitted. Good strategy. He pitted. He was behind Schleif, I believe, when Ryan came in. So overall, it worked out. In that gap, I just picked up Montgomery and White. That gap hasn't changed really. Montgomery's still hanging on to that lead. It's about. Well, let's take a look at it. It's about the same, 3.5, 4 seconds. So Montgomery Jr. putting in a solid second stint here.
Yeah, and that's a pretty tough ask, really, when you're talking about Alex White being the chaser. So Alex White, talk about consistency. He is another guy consistent with really fast laps as well. So it's Sam Montgomery Jr. showing some very nice focus. Now, also some focus being put in here is the battle over 7th place at the moment. Prieto in Houston going at it, and that 6th place Schleif. So all those guys trying to hunt down Thiago Canola. I suspect if they don't do too much of that, actually all of them may have a shot at Thiago Canola here by the end of this event.
You were right. What a battle there. Very close. Prieto just had a look on the inside of Houston there, and yeah, good job by those two guys not getting into one another. On board with Prieto.
Yeah, we'll have to see how patient Prieto is going to be. You have to figure him to have better pace.
I can tell you
how
by
patient is he going to be?
Yeah, I can tell you by the looks of it. He doesn't look none too patient, knowing where he should be right now. Taking a look on the inside of Houston. Oh, and Prieto loses it. I think he just lost it on the braking there.
Yeah, just not too patient.
Yeah.
Really, just you could see is just rushing that pass.
Yeah, very frustrated pushing. Yep, exactly. I mean, to me, that's a case. I mean, what am I to tell? You know, he's won so many championships, but you know, showing a bit of patience. He does have the pace on him. He could probably get around him eventually. I mean, just It's going to take a little longer, perhaps. But yeah, I understand where he's coming from also.
Well, for these guys, there really is a position up for grabs, not too far up the road. Andres Prieto looks to have pace on John Houston. He probably would have on Ryan Schleif as well. He could have gotten up to Thiago Canola, retaken for that 5th position. So if he doesn't improve from 8th, then that's really a pretty big mistake and quite a few points lost just from showing a little bit of too much aggression.
So as we look further back, David Poole and Jaime Moore, these two are still running 9th and 10th. So Poole looks like he jumped Jaime Moore in the pit stop. And these two remain in this position here. No, the gap has been pretty much the same, very tight. So
yeah, as you watch that real quickly, Matt Taylor has jumped into the pits.
So Taylor has pitted. Let's see what he does here as he's away. So he's going to rejoin. I believe he was 12th, moved up all the way to 1st, but he's currently in 8th. He's going to lose out here to Poole and Moore. Oh, and Moore has gotten past David Poole, just as we were talking about. Oh, it looks like Taylor's going to get out ahead of Moore. This is going to be close. We got, oh! And Jaime Moore with a big slide there loses a bunch of grip. Got caught off. So he gives that position back to Poole. Wow, that could have been a lot worse. Nice job saving that by Moore.
Yeah, as we've been watching these interesting strategy battles play out, there's now another battle taking place for 2nd. Alex White has latched onto the back of Salem Montgomery Jr. kind of out of nowhere. So don't know if that was a mistake or what, but that battle very close for 2nd.
So now we got Cuppet and a replay of last week. Cuppet and Moore now have rekindled their little fire from Sonoma last week. So these two are duking it out yet again. Let's go back up front. Follow that battle. So I wonder if looks like Salem might have made a mistake. Open that door for Alex White.
Yeah, not sure what happened, but in any event, I did see the gap suddenly close.
See if I can get a run on Montgomery Jr. here down the front straight.
Boy, I tell you, if I'm Alex White now, I know I lost some points and they're in a battle, so I'll shut up here if they go for a pass. Which you might be looking to do here going into this turn 3 conflict.
You see the gap. He's having a look on the inside. It's not enough to get it done.
So if I'm Alex White with laps running down here, I'm thinking about the next track coming up, which is Barcelona. I know he missed out on some points last week that he'd like to have back, but I don't think that Dunlop Shaw BMW is going to perform so well out there at Barcelona. We have seen him struggle on those types of tracks with a lot of weight. So I don't know if I'm just going to be pleased with 3rd place if I'm Alex White. Try to keep the weight down.
Like Montgomery had a bit of a moment there, but he's recovered okay.
Boy, you've got a great battle there. Got to mention one over 8th place, Matt Taylor and David Poole, nose to tail as well.
Yeah, 4th place now too, Ryan Schleif and Thiago Canola. So those two are nose to tail also. Houston and Prieto. Prieto has gotten past John Houston. And you mentioned David Poole and Matt Taylor, Jaime Moore and Jonathan Cuppet. With Liquid Lou right between them.
Yeah, plenty of battles going on further back as well. So these guys are still having some fun out there.
So
You having trouble knowing where to look?
No, I'm just seeing. Ooh, big slide from Canola there. Wow, nice save. Ooh, Schleif looks like he's got a run on Canola. Preto takes it well wide. Looks like Schleif's going to get the spot. He's up to 4th, and yep, he gets it done. So Tiago starting to lose ground on some of these guys on fresher rubber. So Preto now putting the pressure on Tiago. Meanwhile, for 3rd, or the battle for 2nd, I should say, Montgomery's still leading white.
Yeah, Montgomery doing a pretty nice job here, but it's kind of looking like it might be a matter of time.
So meanwhile, Canola and Preto. Canola going to hang on to the inside. Takes it too deep. Preto gets by.
Yeah, well, you watch that. I have to give honorable mention for the last championship points here. Myers, Swain, Wilkerson, Monahan, all lined up here, nose to tail. A 4-way battle for that last championship point.
So now John Houston putting the pressure on Tiago, looking to get by. Wow, Canola just cannot match the pace of these guys on that, with that double stint. So White looks like he's lost a bit of time to Montgomery Jr. Montgomery, now that gap is well, nearly a second. So Schleif is checked out. Preto is checked out from Canola, and Houston taking a look on Canola now as well for 6th. Jaime Moore, Matt Taylor, and Jonathan Cuppett. These two side by side for 10th. Ooh, nice up and under move from Cuppett. Wow, what a great pass. So Cuppett gets it done. Taylor, we know he's double stinted his tires, so he's starting to fade. Loon's gonna look for position as well. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Jonathan Cuppett, we saw him as high as 9th there before those stops, and he's having to come back through the field, so I guess gave up some spots to those double stinters initially, but now able to reclaim them.
Yeah, talk about Greg Myers running 16th, and then Connor Swain, Mike Monahan, and Dan Wilkerson. 17th, 18th, and 19th.
Yeah, those three battling over 17th now. They're fighting for that championship point, but a little bit of contact. Those guys got jumbled up and allowed Gregory Myers a little bit of breathing room.
As our race leader now, Eiran Parsons. Still got at least one more lap to go. Got Ryan Schleif. Ooh, big slide there. Got Ryan Schleif and Preto, White and Montgomery. Houston's gotten past Canola. Matt Taylor now under a lot of pressure from John Luden. Ooh, Taylor, a bit of a moment as Luden's looking to get by. Looks like he's going to take a look on the inside here. Ooh! Some contact. So Luden Oh, and Taylor takes it well wide. So no doubt, a bit of irritation there from Taylor. Probably justifiably so.
Yeah, I didn't see what may or may not have happened, but I was watching that slide. It's just like a slick down skid pad out there.
So Salem continues to hang on to this second spot over Alex White.
Yeah, Salem Montgomery Jr. looking, holding on to that spot. Andres Prieto is not wanting to hang on to his 5th place spot as he is now putting pressure on Ryan Schleif.
Oh, Prieto might get the job done here. Should be an incredible comeback from Prieto after having to stop twice. If he can get up to 4th.
Yeah, I mean, that was obviously going to be his best.
He's doing another replay of that previous spin. Just out-braking himself. So it's going to be hard to make up. Meanwhile, our race leader, Eiran Parsons, coming across the start-finish. Well, look, Brad, looks like we got another lap.
Well, that's good news for the guys looking for that 16th place, because they're still battling hard back here. That battle has become once again a 4-way battle for 16th.
Yeah, it certainly has. Monahan, Greg Myers in that last points paying position, but then behind him Connor Swain and Mike Monahan. Monahan now taking a look on the inside of Connor Swain. Looks like Mike's gonna get it done. He does. So nice pass from Mike here late.
I think it might be short-lived.
I think you're right. No, Mike's gonna hang on to it. Gotta go back up front though. As this battle between White and Montgomery Jr. nearly a pass for second there on White by White. Montgomery continues to hang on to it. Just a bevy of action here, Brad. It's everywhere.
Indeed, Al. Indeed, Al. I don't know where to look.
I don't either. It's frustrating me. And I don't know when the race is going to end. That's also frustrating. You got to understand, anybody who's watching, we don't have like a lap counter from when you're spectating. We're just judging based on a timer I have here and what we think is going to be the max lap. So, but something tells me this is the last lap here, Brad. As Eiran Parsons taking it around the final corner.
Yeah, I'm actually showing no time left on the clock.
And that's it. Parsons takes the win. Montgomery Jr. looks like he's going to take second. White third. Schleif, is he going to hang on to that 4th? As Prieto is all over the back of him. Oh, Prieto nearly takes it off. He gets it going again, but Prieto's going to finish 5th. Houston to 6th. Tiago Canola with a great effort there, finishing 7th. Looks like David Poole will come around in 8th, followed by Jaime Moore. Jonathan Cuppett in 10th. Nice top 10 finish for him. John Ludden in 11th. Bit further back, Matt Taylor is going to take 12th. Trussell should finish there in 13th, 14th, 15th. Marty. Ooh, I think Marty's he's way off track. But Greg Myers in 15th, Monahan in 16th. We got guys dropping from the server here. Wish they wouldn't do that, but Greg's going to finish. He's going to hang on to that spot, finish ahead of Mike Monahan. Great battle there for the end. Meanwhile, Wilkerson and Connor Swain. Looks like it's going to be 17th and 18th. Looks like those two had a good battle there. And Iggy coming around in 18th. I think Iggy is he on the lead lap? He is. Good job by Iggy finishing on the lead lap. So what a sensational race there, Brad, as we have to bring up our race winner, Eiran Parsons. Eiran, do you copy?
I do, Al.
Eiran, congratulations. Unbelievable race there. Great battle between you and Prato there at the start. You managed to make that pass on him, and you had a really great stop. Prato with some trouble in the pits, and it was all you from then on. Talk us through it.
Yeah, that first stint with Andres was really fantastic. Good racing. This track actually surprisingly is really good for racing. You can take different lines and do over and under moves and stuff like that, which is really cool. You've got the long back straight to draft on. So yeah, I was looking forward to a really good battle with Andres, but I guess he must have overshot his pit stall or something like that, so that kind of got rid of that, finished that battle, unfortunately.
Yeah, indeed, it was Andres sliding a little bit past his stall after a bit of a mistake there on his in lap, but yeah, other than that, it looked like it was a pretty good run for you. Congratulations on that. It is going to be a bit of a lead. You're going to extend that lead a little bit now over Alex White for the lead in that championship. Moreover, your team had a very nice run tonight with teammate John Houston coming up the 5th. I think from now it's all about the rest of the way. So Barcelona coming up next week. How do you like your chances going into there? A little extra weight on that car as well going into Barcelona.
Yeah, 60 kilos will be very challenging at a track like Barcelona, but the car should be good at that track, so shouldn't be too bad. And I think the car is actually good for most of the tracks for the rest of the season, so I'm actually looking forward to the rest of the season. It should be really good.
Well, congratulations, Eiran. We're certainly going to be looking forward to see how the rest of the season shapes up for you and your teammate together. Like Brad said, great run from both you guys. So congratulations again.
Yep.
And look forward to seeing you next week at Barcelona.
Yeah, and just want to say great job, John. That was awesome drive to finish 6th for him. So congrats, John.
All right, cool. Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Well, well, there you have it. Eiran Parsons taking the win here tonight, Brad. Really was an unbelievable race. There was just things going on all over the place. Really hard to keep track of. I feel bad for some of the stuff going on further back, but I mean, serious racing with serious points implications too, both team and drivers' championships. It's going to be a heck of a second half of the season.
Yeah, another great show put on by the GT2 drivers here tonight, and we've seen quite a bit of that this season. And you're absolutely right. The story of the night for me is that T-Brock Dam Bam team of Eiran Parsons and John Houston putting in that result. Now they are going to jump. Here comes the boom ×2, and they're going to close up quite a few points on 05 Motorsports. So this is quickly becoming a pretty contested race here midway through the season here in this season 24 championship.
Yes, and I'm certainly looking forward to it, Brad. But Well, I want to thank everybody who tuned in tonight. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the coverage. As we said, it was pretty hectic out there, so we did our best to bring it all to you guys. But like Brad said, next week we'll be at Barcelona for round 6. But until then, Thursday night we'll be coming to you live from Spa for GT1 and the traditional mid-season classic there in GT1. So it's going to be a great race. If you're on the forums, check out the Spa Fast Facts. It's got a lot of great statistics and great look back through the seasons to see how everybody has done at Spa. It's really cool to look years back to see how all the different drivers throughout the seasons and who's won and who hasn't won. Brad,
You don't need to go any further.
But anyway, yeah, it's a cool little thing to check out. So yeah, if you guys could tune in Thursday night, that'd be great. But until then, we'll be back next Monday night for round 6 from Barcelona. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Thanks, Brad.